In this new world order, parents are finding themselves tackling the role of teacher, which is not an easy task. So how can you set yourself and your kids up for success? Julia Edelstein is joining us now with some very important advice. She is the editor-in-chief of Parents Magazine. Thanks for being here, Julia.
Thank you for having me on.
I know the drill well. It is tough, especially with those young kids who need a lot of help. So you say your first tip is you want to meet your child at his or her level.
Yes. So we spoke to a lot of homeschooling parents over the years at Parents, and we've been talking to them on a daily basis now, looking for tips on how we approach distance learning, which is a little different than homeschooling. But really, one of the great advantages of homeschooling is that instead of, a teacher teaching at the same rate to the whole class, you get to see how your kid is doing in every subject and really tailor to his level. So, if he's struggling with handwriting, spend some extra time on that. If he's a math whiz, accelerate the curriculum. That's something homeschooling parents do all the time. And, distance learning isn't easy, but it's a rare opportunity to really gauge how our kids are doing and make the curriculum work for them. And I think they'll find it a lot more fun when when it's not going too fast or too slow for them.
Yeah, and you say it's okay to aim for short bursts of totally focused attention. I think sometimes as parents, we might expect too much.
Yes. I mean, the school day is so long. And so when your kid sits down with you, I mean, I know that's what I'm experiencing. And, in 5 minutes, he's like squirming on the floor. And I'm like, how do you sit at school from 9 to 3? But it's different at home. And I think kids also struggle with it at school. We're just not seeing it. So the advice we got from homeschooling moms and dads was really, put your phone away. Stop worrying about the news. Stop worrying about whatever it is you have going on. Sit down with your kid and just focus on him for 15 to 20 minutes. It can be a little bit longer for an older kid, although fortunately an older kid may not need such hands-on supervision, but a pre-K, kindergarten, first grader really needs you sitting there. So, 15 to 20 minutes, focus in on what he's doing, think of nothing else, and then let him go play. You can't expect hours and hours of work. And I think as parents, many of us have jobs. We don't have the time for that anyway. So it kind of lets you off the hook.
Yeah.
Give them your best and then let it go.
Yeah. And you say it's okay to plan for extra recess, which again can be a break for parents.
Yes. Well, kids really need to get their wiggles out, especially now. And also, I was starting to worry when this started that my kid was going to start to hate me. Like, I'm there in this new role, like correcting his handwriting and his spelling. And, I don't want to be his teacher exactly. That's not the role I signed on for. But it helps to also be the one rewarding them with fun. And recess really is going to look a bit different than at school. If you're in an apartment or you're in a small home, or even if you have a big backyard, they may get a little bit bored of just playing by themselves. So you may have to provide the fun. My house, we're having a lot of fun with shaving cream and food coloring and paint and scavenger hunts, playing red light, green light. All those kinds of fun games that just feel silly and can get their energy out will really help them when it's time to go back and focus for that 15-minute chunk.
And speaking of the timing, it is important to follow a schedule. I think this has been the one thing that's really helped us at home is knowing what to expect and having an order to the day.
Yes, it's so critical for kids, and it's hard for parents because it feels like one more thing on the to-do list. Like you've got to write all this stuff up, but it can be super simple. You don't have to have times attached to it. It can literally just be the order, like schoolwork, snack, playtime, lunch. And if you have really little kids, it helps to take a picture of your kid doing that activity. So, writing their letters and putting it right there so they can really visualize it. Because if your kid can't read, the schedule is not going to do that much for them. You need some kind of visual cue to help them understand what's going on.
Thank you so much, Julia. Some great tips. And we appreciate you being with us right in Fairfield, Connecticut. You're coming to us from. So
yes.
So
coming to you straight from Fairfield.
Yeah. The May issue of Parents Magazine, that might be some good reading for you out right now. It's out right now. And Parents is published by the Meredith Corporation. That is the same company that owns Channel 3. Thanks so much.